The issues are unfortunate, but all the same, for a party that has experienced a large influx of men and women, as a result of the hope that the party carries now, we expect that that should happen. We have managed it better than many other parties have managed their own crisis. Uh, um, the Professor Ifabemi Awamaridi was the former gubernatorial candidate of the party in 2019 general elections. And after that elections, um, we decided to regroup. Few of us decided to regroup to continue keeping the Labour Party alive in Lagos. And I was one of those that did that. Myself, Professor Wamaridi, Comrade Tony Masha, Comrade Tunji Shekoni, the BOT chairman of the current BOT chairman of the Labour Party, Comrade SOZ Ejiofor, and one of the founding fathers of Labour Party in Nigeria, Comrade Ikpe Etukudo, was also part of that arrangement, and Barrister Osemene was also part of that arrangement. Those are the few I can readily remember now. And we decided to keep the party alive despite the shortcomings in that election of 2019. And so we were meeting at the NLC Secretariat in Lagos, though we had the registered office of the party in Lagos at Shogunle. But all of us were holding our meetings bi-weekly at the Nigerian Labour Congress. And a lot of people were joining us, and we were beginning to spread to other parts of Lagos. It was on the strength of all of those that Awamaridi became the chairman, the substantive chairman of the party, while Comrade Tony Masha became the vice chairman. People like us declined accepting any position because of the dictates of the job that we have where we work. And so it was on this strength that we continued, especially on the ideological basis, visiting all the unions in Lagos State. We visited the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, the NLC itself being our host, where we meet all the time. We visited all the unions in Lagos, one by one, soliciting there, because we know that Labour Party is owned by the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. We know that, and the civil society organizations that were also part of the process that gave birth to the Labour Party. And so this advocacy outreach was designed to bring everybody on board so that we can revive the Labour Party. So we were in the process of all doing that, and then setting up structures at the local government levels when the elections came close. As 2020 elections were coming close, a lot of interest were generated, by the emergence of Peter Obi into Labour Party. That attracted a lot of attention, and a lot of people started rushing into the party. That was what happened earlier this year. As a result of that new interest, a lot of people that were not aware of the dynamics of the Labour Party in Lagos came up. A lot of support groups and all of those. They came up, and when these things happen, a lot of people will want to begin to jostle for positions. Before this rush, primaries had been organized in Lagos. That is the truth. Primaries had been organized by Awamaridi, under the supervision of INEC. Primaries especially for the State House of Assemblies, for the Lagos State gubernatorial candidates, and for the National Assemblies. And we were the ones in our meeting that gave Awamaridi the mandate to go ahead and organize those elections, despite those primaries, despite his shortcomings. We said he should go ahead, and at the end of the primaries, he should bring everybody that emerged as candidate, so that we will all operate from one platform. And we agreed on that. That was an agreement that came from all of us. And so that received, what Awamaridi did, received a stamp of the party in Lagos. That is the truth. Now, that was done before this current influx by these other people, the people that lost elections, primaries in their respective parties, the APC and the PDP. They lost their own primaries, and they were looking for alternatives, and they saw that perhaps the Labour Party was available for them to come in. And that was what gave impulse to some of them rushing into the party and began to pick up positions that they felt was available, though those positions were not available. That was the truth. And so, and that is why it is clear that INEC went ahead to list the names of the State House of Assembly candidates that emerged under Awamaridi's superintendence, and listed them as the candidates. And that was the right thing, because INEC was involved in those primaries. Then the person that emerged as the gubernatorial candidate was Efabemi himself, and which we did not like, because we don't want somebody to be the chairman and also be the gubernatorial candidate. We want to win, and we know that Lagos is winnable. Because we know that Lagos is winnable, we wanted those two positions to be separated so as to give room for the chairman to work effectively for the candidate of the party to win the election. So his emergence as the gubernatorial candidate was morally flawed. We did not like it. But that is where it is. The law is the law. The primaries had been organized and he won, and INEC supervised it. Then he should be the candidate in our own eyes and the eyes of the law, except other provisions in the law that allows for substitution takes place. Now, his name had been submitted, but we understand that before he submitted his name to to Abure, the national chairman, he wrote a letter. We understand that he wrote a letter of withdrawal, which he signed himself, but which he has come out to say, no, I didn't write that letter. You understand? And then, in due course, when these other people came in, an election was, a primary was supposed, not even a primary. When these other people started coming in, and because of the debate between the national chairman and Awamaridi himself, it led to the non-submission of the names of our national officers, like our candidates for Senate and for Federal House of Representatives. That is why Labour Party, as it is today, does not have candidates in those positions in Lagos State. Now, because of this confusion, Abure, using the instrument of the National Working Committee, decided to go ahead to appoint a caretaker committee, in Lagos for Labour Party. And he appointed people that are from the moon, people that were not members of Labour Party in any way, people that were from APC and PDP, who were not known members, they were not card-carrying members of the party, who were not in our database. So they were not members of Labour Party. The national chairman was misled into appointing those people as caretaker committee members of the party without consulting the NLC and the TUC and the NC Front and the Board of Trustee chairman, who is also resident in Lagos. And so he did that unilaterally, and that did not go down well with the owners of the party in Lagos. And because of that, we have been having leadership crisis in the state. Not just, so the illegal ESCO, or the undemocratic ESCO of Salako went ahead to organize a Guba primaries and other primaries. It was that primary they organized that now says that they have produced Badebo road survivor, who some of us may have some liking to, because he fits into our mode. He fits into the mode of P2B, into the mode of Dati Ahmed. He's a young man, he's an architect, and he's vibrant. He understands the issues. We believe he can drive the process. But we are democratic people. We want the democratic processes to be followed at all times. If we seek to change impunity, we must act within the confines of democracy. And that is what we insisted. We have asked that Awamaridi and Badebo Vival Roads should come together and agree. There are processes for substitution. Let those processes be agreed. Let it be democratic, and if that is democratic and is done and is acceptable by all, fine. We want to work with Badebo. If you ask some of us, who do you want? We say it's Badebo Vival Roads that we want. But he should not, his coming in should not become a problem to us. It should not be a problem to democracy. It should actually be a demonstration of the democratic credentials that Labour, NLC, and TUC are known for, and Labour Party is known for.